I think America has done a very good job of pointing the finger at other countries for human rights violations, and at the same time refusing to point that finger back at themselves. In fact, Dr. King talked about this place that we as America had gotten to, where we were willing to point the finger of blame at other nations and talk about how they were treating people in an inhumane way, and at the same time doing the same thing to communities of color in our country. So to me, it's this hypocrisy that really makes America look bad in the eyes of people from other countries. We very rarely get the perspectives from people in other countries about how they feel about America, but you can see that historically people have called America hypocrites for this. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union used propaganda to make America look bad by talking about the things that they did to blacks, showing these images from the civil rights movement and the atrocities that blacks had to face. So these images and these ideas of America mistreating its own people have been acknowledged by people outside the United States, but very rarely looked upon as the same by people within our country. And typically when those people bring those things up, they say, well, it's completely different. It's not the same. We're a country that's freedom and justice and liberty for all, even though it's not been the case, obviously. And so when I look at those things and I say that as Americans, we call ourselves the center of freedom, the worldwide leader in freedom. However, we have to be cognizant of the fact that this is not true, that we have to stop telling this lie, not only to other people outside of our country, but stop telling this lie to ourselves, because it leads us to this place where we have a hard time saying that things that happen in our country are really related to discrimination. We want to say that they're related to something other than discrimination by our communities and our government and things of that nature. We have to be just as honest about what we do as we are about what people in, say, North Korea are doing, or people in the former Soviet Union or in Cuba and places of this nature that we disparage so often. We have to look and say, wow, we haven't been a model or a beacon of success in terms of human rights either.